Hey guys, happy, what is it? What day is it? Actually, you know what? Maybe today. I have a feeling. I'm shooting this vlog. I just finished my workout. Today was a 500 calorie burner, lower body. Exhibit A, my burn from yesterday, still there. And oh, can we see this? I think we're seeing the beginnings. It's scary that I'm excited about this. I don't even know if I can twist my arm around. Beginnings of some kettlebell bruises. I don't know if you can see them up here. I think the other ones would be, let's see, let me get the kettlebell up in the rack. It's gonna be like here, but a lot here. I can see it. I'm one of those weird women that really likes makeup and jewelry and bling and nails and heels, and yet at the same time, I want to do CrossFit and beat my body into oblivion with my workouts. What does that mean? Maybe my therapist will help me work that out. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think it's a nice balance. Mr. Flo? Mr. Flo? Ah! So he said I haven't done that in a while, so there you go. I'm chugging the rest of my... Oh, that's just some good stuff. It's amazing how I did that last vlog when I had my Super Pump in it. How many Super Pump 250 fans? And then there's just as many, which just goes to show you guys. You've got to, what's the word I'm looking for? I always screw up phrases. I was going to say you got to beat to your own drum. I don't think that's it. You got to march to your own drummer. Is that what I'm looking for? Cleavage looks crooked. Can't hide those things. Okay, so I wanted to share with you a couple things. Number one, great workout. Number two, I was looking at my my calendar for last month. Really excited. Had a very good, consistent month. Weighed myself this morning on my, darn it, wanted to bring it in here, on my Eat Smart digital scale, which I have to tell you, especially in cases like this, you know, I guess in the past, it's probably been 10 or 15 years since I've had a scale in my house, but in the past, I think the last time I had a scale was when I was married. Sorry, every time I say when I was married, I get like phlegm in my throat. But I had the kind of scale that had the little movie thing, you know, and I know this is silly, you guys, but when you're trying to lose really between 1 pound and 2 pounds a week, that's a healthy way to lose fat. It's hard to see 1 to 2 pounds or half a pound, right, when you have those kind of scales. So for me, this is like such, it's not like I knew digital scales were out there, but it's really helpful for me because guess what? I stepped on the scale today and I'd lost, is it 1.2 pounds? Or maybe just 1 pound. I think I lost 1 pound. So I lost a total of 4 pounds over the past 2 weeks. So it's either 3.2 or maybe I lost a total of 5 pounds. Because I think I lost 3.2 pounds. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check. I'm trying to think of, I've lost a total of 5 pounds. Just about 5 pounds. It's either, I've either lost 4.2 or 5 pounds. But either way, what I'm saying is, if I didn't have that, you know, 0.5 or 0.8, I wouldn't be as accurate. And some of you might go, well, does it really matter? You know, are you 100 pounds or 100.3? Does that matter? Well, I think it does in the case of tracking, because when you're tracking, like with inches, right? When you're down to, you know, wanting to lose 3 to 4 inches, okay, in a certain area, half of an inch, that's, oh, don't ask me to do math, but you know, half of an inch out of 4 inches, you know, you're doing percent, I mean, that's, you've got to look at it, it's percentage of how much you've lost. Start to think of it that way. If you get discouraged, which many of us do, right, and you start thinking, oh, I've only lost 5 pounds. Think about 5 pounds in the context of what percentage of your body weight have you just lost, and or what percentage of the total amount you want to lose. So if you've lost 5 pounds and you were trying to lose 20, you've already lost a quarter of the weight that you plan to lose. That's kind of a big deal. I'm a numbers person, even though I suck at doing numbers like this, like saying what is half percentage of this or this, I am good at, and I like to track and count things. So I'm very nerdy like that. But what I also did today to start off the month of May is, in addition to going through all of my workouts, can you see the OCD part of me coming in? I categorized all my workouts so that I can make sure I'm really like going through and getting variety and not just sticking with the same 4 or 5 workouts. Because like today, I did butts and guts from Kathy. I'll do that every week. Not that that's a bad thing, but maybe I want to focus, instead of doing Kathy butts and guts every week, I do it twice a month Okay, so every other week. And then I focus in on doing, you know, another really hardcore lower body workout. Plus I'm gonna be starting our friend Brazil butt lift very soon, which I'll get to that in a second. But I did the, For some reason, Old School Rock is coming up on my iPod. Cinderella, and then before that we had Old School Guns N' Roses, which I really miss Guns N' Roses. And what in the world did Axl Rose do to his face and his hair? That's a damn shame, because he's one redheaded man that I would totally hang out with in the gym. I categorized all my workouts, and then I went, I'm tracking my weight and my eats on fitday.com. That for me is it's a good visualization. Plus I like it has that nice little pie. I'm sure there's 100 different sites you could do this on, but where you can put your weight in, you can see it on the downward spiral. But because I had that little blip after my friend Wendy came here, remember I told you I got so depressed because I gained like 2 pounds or 3 pounds, and I was like, whatever. But then it makes you get right back on track when you're tracking it, right? You can't get back on track if you don't know you're off track because you're not tracking it. But I also went in and I had created a year ago a tracking sheet where I put my measurements, because back then I was too scared to get on the scale. So I had my measurements in there from December of 2009 to January of 2010, and had those measurements in there. So then I added a column for my weight, so I have the spreadsheet and FitDay, just tracking stuff all over the place, and my calendar. It works for me, okay people? It takes 2 seconds out of your day. Even if you, and that's only if you do it every day. Tracking is something I'm doing on a weekly basis, and the calendar is where I write my workouts every day. We're talking about 25 seconds. My arms are feeling it from yesterday. I have to stretch. So, the tracking sheet. Anyways, then I'm like, well, okay, if I'm weighing myself, I've got to measure myself too. I was talking to Amy about it this morning, and I said, I think I'm kind of anticipating that what's going to inevitably happen over the next few months, as I'm being really consistent in my training, in my workouts, right, and really consistent in my eating, that I just anticipate I'm going to run into a place where the whole gaining muscle while you're losing, so I want to track both my measurements and my weight. Not to be obsessive about it, but just to compare, because I think it'll be interesting if I do hit any kind of a weight plateau, if it'll coincide with maybe more inches being lost or whatever. But when I recorded my inches that I lost compared to, which of course I'm comparing this to a year ago, but still, you know, I thought for some reason there was part of me that was going to think that a year ago I would have been, you know, slimmer or whatever. I've actually lost pretty much an inch in every area from January of last year. Again, not necessarily the best place to compare it to, but it was kind of a nice thing to see. So that said, I'm on my way. Even though I was disappointed to only see 1 pound, I got off the scale and I'm like, okay, let's just keep this in mind as we go through, you know, the next week. Let's be sensible. Let's try to have better eating, better workouts, not crazy. I'm just keeping... Did I get distracted? I'm sorry. Anyway, just keeping everything in balance, you guys. I mean, I'm just always aware of the things that have been wrong about everything I've done the past 2 years. Overtraining, not sticking to anything for a long enough time, so on and so forth. That said, I'm making some more fish tacos today because I'm addicted. I'm going to look through here, get some good recipes. Amy told me that she was making some kind of a chicken thing in her slow cooker, and I was like, what'd you put in it? She was telling me what she put in it, and I'm like, you didn't put any water? Like, I have no clue how to use a slow cooker. I also think that my shirt looks really funny to you. Does it look funny to you? Maybe it's just where I'm standing. Anyway, so I'm going to try some of these new recipes, but this, by the way, I think I showed you guys. This was the, you know, where I got the recipe for the oxygen fish tacos. They're freaking ridiculously good. And if you could be here, like I said, and watch me eat them, there's stuff like dribbling all over down my face. I don't even care. I think even if I was like maybe dating a hot guy and on a first date, I might even eat like that in front of him. Really, of course I would. If you don't like it, move on. What is this? Looks like, oh, this is a good workout for bands. Anyway, everybody should have a good set of resistance bands. It's just another way to work out at home, work out on the road with no equipment, little to no equipment. I think that was really all I wanted to talk about today, but I hope you guys have a great day. I had a great workout. I'm feeling great. One more pound down, 1 more pound closer to my goal. Feeling better every day, seeing changes every day, being more positive with myself every day. You know, before I look in the mirror every morning, this might sound dorky and corny to some of you, but I'm starting to believe this stuff works, you guys. You've got to talk nice to yourself. When I go in the mirror, instead of going, what am I going to see? I'm like, okay, I know when I turn around and I look in the mirror, I am going to see results. And then I turn around and I'm like, oh snap, look at that. Look, you're smaller over there. Look, you're smaller over there. Look, that little line below your bra line, it's getting smaller. Let me tell you something else. I'm going to just be really bold with you guys and tell you this, okay? And this is how completely I'm just putting myself out there on the table for you. I'm just laying it out there. When I first started to get really paranoid, with all of my hormonal issues and weight gain and whatever, I remember putting these tops on. And see, like that, if I had my arm out like that, there was so much more. This is so gross, because ladies, when you get older, I'm sharing all of this with you so you can learn from me. Most of you, if you have kids or you plan to have kids in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you probably won't get into these lovely hormonal changes that perimenopause and menopause brings. But I'm sharing this with you because I didn't think it would happen to me, and it did. I didn't think I'd gain weight or gain fat on my back, where all of a sudden I'm looking and I'm like, what the is that? But let me tell you, when I first bought these tops, I remember wanting to do vlogs, and I would have the jiggly back there. It's like I call it, what is it, like chicken wings, like back there. Guess what? Less and less all the time. In fact, I'm just telling you, damn proud of myself. So I know you're proud of me too. And I also know you're probably saying to yourself right now, Kelly, go to the tanning bed. It's kind of just a dreary day. I think it's also the lighting in my house. It's just unacceptable. I'm gonna have to get some different lighting, but I don't have time for that right now. So you guys have a good rest of the day. Talk to you tomorrow.